The Makalu region is a mountain lover's paradise, but it's rarely visited by trekkers and climbers. For the Great Himalaya Trail High Route, it provides the greatest challenge along the entire Himalaya, the two highest passes, both over 6,000 metres, that lead to the Everest region, or as the locals call it, the Solu Khumbu. The south face of Makalu, meaning Black Mountain, rises 3,500 metres above base camp. To reach the Solu Khumbu from here involves some tough climbing. First, over two 6,000 metre passes, the Shapani Col and West Col, and then the formidable amphilabsta, which takes lives almost every year.
Hello, it's quite a spot to be in, isn't it? Putting on a harness, looking at this vast expanse of snow we're going to have to go on to. Looking at Varunse, Makalu, pretty amazing spot.
From the summit of the Shapani Col, you abseil about 70 metres down onto the West Barron Glacier, which you have to cross for the next 2.5 hours to the West Col on the far side, the rocky ridge you can see in the foreground.
This is the West Col. To the east, it's just the edge of a huge basin. This is a Barunsi expedition. They've just put in Camp 2, they're going back down to base camp. On this side, it's maybe a 20-30 metre climb. On the other side, it's a different kettle of fish. There is a very, very large hole. This is the little lip that we're going to go over, just here, down into that. Somewhere over there, we'll make a campsite and fall into a very deep sleep. It's now 1:30, we've been up since 3:15 and we still have a fair way to go. This is the amphilabsta, one of the most notorious passes in the Himalaya. We're on top of it. We've come up from down here next to that lake. Here we go, some of the crew climbing up the last steep section. We had fresh snow last night, which has made it slow. We're going to go down into this valley, the Chukung Valley.
We started to descend to a tricky abseil when a sudden storm blew up, stuffing our eyes, ears and mouths with snow and grit. I remember thinking, this is how people die. But as quickly as it came, it left, and we all made it safely down to Chukung. Once in the Solu Khumbu, we took some time to rebuild our exhausted bodies. For a week, Judy slogged up the trail with our resupplies, and it was wonderful to see her again. With her precious cargo, Bob and I built a delicious 24-egg omelette, covered in cheese and guacamole, but it overwhelmed our stomachs, now used to rice and veggies twice a day. Mount Everest is a must-see for many trekkers, and a substantial tourism industry has grown to serve them. I figured it was about time I found out what it was like to be on the receiving end of all these tourists. Gokyo Valley is in the heart of the Solu Khumbu and home to a lovely Sherpa couple who agreed to talk to me.
So, namaste Pasangkuri, namaste Angas.
My life, I never been one day school. First English, I give to from Paya.
So for 6 years you were here on your own, running a little tea shop?
Yeah, tea shop, tea house. Yeah.
At the time, I sent money I earned from trekkers to my family, and when my father became sick, I was supporting everyone. When I was 16, I fell in love, but my family said I couldn't marry and had to support them. I fell in love again at 25. By then, all my sisters had finished school and were getting married, but again I was told to wait. I met Angalchin a couple of years later, and then I was determined to be happy. Now we have a tea house and a family.
Your sons want to come back
Yeah, he said come
and
back
be here. Yeah, that must be very happy for you.
Yeah, but just a dream. So, where your money? Just a dream talking.
We left Angaltsin and Pasang Furby with hopes that their sons will continue the family business and more trekkers can enjoy their hospitality and great humour. We waved our final farewells to Everest from the Renjo La and headed for Tame, where Pemba insisted we get a blessing for safe travel. Many Himalayan people believe that the mountain gods control the weather, the trail conditions, and ultimately their fate in the hills. They believe that to appease and respect them will guarantee safe passage. That's something we could definitely do with over the months ahead. We crossed the amphilabsta into the Rawaling Valley, where, at bedding, we again sought some more good luck.
This is a very sacred stupa. It's said that if you tie your kata onto this stupa, you have a lifetime of good luck. It would seem churlish not to avail ourselves of this opportunity. It's where the Lama that first came here and created the village stayed underneath this rock. This is the current Lama. He's been here for 40 years. Unfortunately, most of the residents have left now, and he hasn't got much to do. So any opportunity for people to come along and participate in the local rituals is gratefully and readily accepted.
It was a relief to be descending through the Rolwaling, as it meant the highest and toughest sections were now behind us. It also meant that we were now approaching the halfway point in terms of time, and we needed to rest and rebuild our bodies that had been pushed to their limit for far too long. While Pemba, the crew and I enjoyed ourselves at the last resort, Judy was busy in Kathmandu. A multitude of permits and resupply arrangements now had to be confirmed, and in a country as relaxed about time as Nepal, it was pushing her to her limits.
Yeah, call me tomorrow, bye. Thinks I'm Mandrake the Magician.